Hey YouTube, I'm out here and this will be my 200-mile review. As you can see, 201 miles. The bike is doing great. There's a few issues though. Now it's time to adjust the brakes and the grips are coming loose. Now the grips are easy fix. Go home and borrow some mama's hairspray, pull the grips off, spray the hairspray on the inside, and slide them back on. They will stick like glue, but hairspray has a alcohol carrier in it, so it'll evaporate, leaving just the hairspray, and it will stick. And the bright side of it is you take some soapy water and spray in underneath the grips, and you'll be able to get them back off no problem. That's the fix for that. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I'm still having problems with the seat creaking. So my solution is going to be to buy a new seat post. You have 2 points where it connects. One here, right under the seat. You can see that pinch bolt right there. It's creaking there, and in the seat tube itself. There is some grease in that seat tube, but I unfortunately don't have a heavy enough grease at home. I need to get to the auto parts store and buy a heavier grease. I'm probably just going to buy whatever's cheapest that's thick, because the film doesn't stay put on that lithium grease. It just isn't, this film strength isn't strong enough, so you need something. So in order to eliminate it, I would have to take the seat tube off, grease this here, and put more grease in there. The front seat tube is, the tube going into the fork creaks a little bit, and it also moves a little bit, but I can't seem to get rid of it. I'm not sure if that's a design fault or what, but it's doing okay. I'm not going to mess with it. It doesn't bother me that much. The brakes need to be adjusted. And I think if I have an Allen wrench, I'll go ahead and show you guys how to do it. You only need a 5mm Allen wrench. I think it's, 5mm. I probably don't even have a 5mm with me, but I think this is. You have one pad adjustment, basically. And it's this silver thing right here. That's your adjustment to bring the pad in or out. Mine don't need any adjusting as far as the front, but the back do. So there's several ways you can do this. You can bring a pair of pliers with you or whatever. But here's what I'm going to do. I am going to loosen the cable here. I hope you can see this. I have my sunglasses on, which wasn't very tight at all. I'm going to screw out the adjustment deal a little ways, probably about halfway out, and then I don't know if I'll be able to do this one-handed. You lift this up, pull the cable tight, which I won't be able to do one-handed. Pull the cable tight, and let me put you down for a second, and I'll do that, and then we'll show you what you do with the adjustment up front. Okay, it's all tightened up. Now the brakes are applied because I pulled that cable tight and lifted this arm up. So you come up here and you screw that back in. If you didn't screw it out enough, you might have to do this a second time, but that's releasing cable tension down there, and it's just right. See how that is about halfway to the from where it started? that's where your hand's going to be the strongest and have the most strength to pull it. If it's too far out here, you may not have the hand strength to fully engage the brakes. Same with the front. They're both adjusted now. It's that simple. No problems. Now, if the pads seem to drag a little bit because of the spring pressure in the brake doesn't pull the pads back away from the caliper, or the disc. That's because there's so much cable here. You have cable that strings from clear up here. So you have some friction in the cable that's going to cause part of the spring return problem. They make lube to fix that. You can spray it into the tube and it'll lube that cable and make it a little slicker. It's usually made with Teflon. So you can get some of that if you want to. I ain't gonna mess with it. It's not that bad. You just sometimes have to grab the brakes and squeeze them again and it'll release all the way. So other than the creaking, that's pretty much it. If you can live with the creaking noise, great. I can't. The last thing I want to do is hear that creak every time I ride my bike. I got to get that. I got to get back to the store and do that. I'm a high risk, so I stay away from the stores at this time right now. If you bring a good set of Allen wrenches, you can pretty much do anything you need to do to this bike on the road. So I'd go to the store and either buy a bike set that's folding that you keep in your bag or wherever on your bike you plan on storing stuff, or keep one at home, but it'd be smarter to keep it on the bag. Flat tires, no problems yet. I keep the pressure at 30 pounds, even though the sidewall says 20. Do whatever you think is right. But if you look, there's been a few people that have already had pinch flats with these tires, which is them running the tire pressure too low for the situation they're in. If you hit a sharp object, even at 20 pounds, like the square edge of a curb, and that tube and tire compresses enough, you'll dent the rim. So keep the tire pressure up. On a loose gravelly surface, you probably want a little less, but don't go below 20 pounds. Under no circumstances would I go below 20 pounds. It's just not worth the headache of having to take these wheels off and fix or repair the inner tube or put a new one in, which aren't easy to find. Tires are not easy to find right now for this. So other than that, them are the only things I've had to do. I showed you the brake adjustments, the same for the front. Loosen, tighten. You also have barrel adjustments on the brakes if you need a little more adjustment. There is a lock nut on each one of the adjustments to keep it from moving. Typically they don't move much unless you're on a really rough washboard road and you're going to rattle them loose. I'm going to have to adjust the PAS level. I wish I could actually make it lower. It's at 1, which is the standard. The PS level for takeoff, how much power it applies when you take off. I wish I could even make it more gradual. It's at the lowest setting now. So I don't know what to do about that. I typically have as much as a 2-second delay before the PAS cuts off. Some people say 1. I'm saying 2. Sometimes that's to your advantage. If you want to coast to a stop, you need just enough pedal. I also am going to do the sensitivity adjustment. I want it to start sooner. Right now I'm using the throttle to start out, and then I start pedaling. I have carpal tunnel and lock thumb on both hands from work. So I have problems twisting the throttle really for long periods of time. So I have not ridden this as an electric only bike. Even on PAS5, you don't have to pedal hard. You just have to keep the pedals moving, and the motor will do the rest. The same with all the PS levels. PS1, you're not going to move very fast, 5-6 miles an hour. PS2 is 11 for me. PS3 is around 16 to 18 is comfortable for me to pedal. And after that, there isn't enough gear here to go faster than that. Really, you're just bouncing and bobbing all over the place on the seat, no matter how high or how well you have the seat set. If you want to know how to set the seat, it's a simple equation. You can go on the internet and find all kinds of complicated crap, but the simple equation is measure your inseam, take 80% of your inseam, measure from this bolt up to the top of the seat. That's where you want your seat set at. That's the proper seat level. So for us that have ridden for a long time, you can just stand next to a bike and tell whether or not the seat's going to be just about right. That's about it. Any questions, comments? Go ahead and leave them. If your comment looks like it needs a reply, I will do my best to reply to it. If it doesn't, I probably won't say anything. Please subscribe. I'm not trying to make money on this YouTube video, but if I don't have enough subscribers, I won't see the point in continuing this. I'm retired, disabled from the military, and pretty much retired at this point in my life. I'm 58 years old. I planned on working another 8 years, but it wasn't in my future, it seems. If you have any questions, or if you're a veteran and you need help, you can always message me. I will be happy to help you with anything that comes with the problems at the VA. Have a great day, enjoy your ride, and keep riding.